Hello, I'm Paula Bloom, and I'd like to welcome you to this short presentation, a collaboration between New Horizons Learning Resources and the McCormick Center for Early Childhood Leadership at National Louis University. This segment is part one of a two-part series about the Early Childhood Work Environment Survey, known as the ECWES. It looks at the different organizational practices measured by the survey and walks you through the online assessment process. In part two, Jill Bella will help you interpret your center's work environment profile and share consultation and training options available to you and your staff to improve your program's organizational climate. The ECWES is not a new instrument. Since 1985, early childhood directors have used it to measure, monitor, and improve the quality of work life at their centers. More than 40,000 early childhood teachers, administrators, and support staff have completed the survey. The ECWES has served as the centerpiece of training on how to create a great place to work. It has also been used in research to demonstrate the relationship between work climate and the quality of children's learning environments. Now, measuring work attitudes has become even easier since the ECWES is available online. That means the center's work environment profile, summarizing the collective perceptions of staff, can be generated the same day that all surveys have been completed. So why is measuring work attitudes so important? Well, we know that meaningful work is vitally important to all people, whether they're in business and industry or in early care and education settings. Across all fields, job dissatisfaction can negatively affect employee behavior and retention. We know that many people in work settings are filled with tense relationships, a lack of recognition for their efforts, and daily routines that don't tap their potential. My research over the last 3 decades has shown a positive association between work attitudes and commitment to the center and to the early childhood profession. That is why understanding the factors that influence the center's organizational climate is central to attracting and retaining high-quality staff. When we neglect the needs of adults who work in our early childhood programs, we threaten not only their well-being, but that of the children in their care. Let me take a moment to define what I mean by the term organizational climate. It is the distinct and unique atmosphere that characterizes each work setting. When you visited other early childhood programs, no doubt you've been struck by the unique personality of each setting. In some centers, you immediately feel a sense of positive energy and vitality. Teachers are enthusiastic about their work and appear warm and supportive in their interactions with children, with families, and with one another. In other settings, though, the general mood may be quite different. Tension, competition, mistrust, and resentment may be characteristic of the work environment, and staff may complain about their roles, responsibilities, and general working conditions. The weather metaphor is particularly appropriate because the feel of a workplace can be easily characterized in terms of weather-related images. Some early childhood centers have a distinctly sunny, warm, and nurturing atmosphere, where others can be characterized as having stormy and unpredictable conditions. Typically, people do not think analytically about organizational climate, but it influences everyone's behavior. This includes the degree to which staff feel comfortable in expressing their feelings and opinions, the degree to which interpersonal relations are productive and satisfying, and the extent to which roles and responsibilities are performed satisfactorily. Your teacher's perceptions of the work climate in your center are a valid source of data. This doesn't mean that their perceptions necessarily reflect objective reality, but rather that what they perceive as their experience is what is most important. The purpose of distributing the Early Childhood Work Environment Survey is to better understand these perceptions. Let me list some of the benefits of assessing work attitudes. The survey results identify your center's strengths and validate your understanding of the areas where things are going well. The work environment profile will also help you pinpoint areas of concern that need improving and the factors that may be impacting employee turnover and commitment. The rich data generated from assessment can help you set priorities to improve the quality of the work climate in your program. If your staff complete the ECWES annually, you'll also be able to monitor the impact of your program improvement efforts and see how work attitudes change over time. One of the most valuable insights from doing a climate assessment is a better understanding of where your perceptions differ from your staff's collective perceptions. For example, directors often believe they give teachers more feedback than the teachers perceive they get. Assessing work attitudes provides a springboard for discussing different perceptions. Finally, and perhaps most important, administering the ECWES expands upward communication, empowering your teachers to be active partners in both identifying and solving problems. It should be clear from this list of benefits that assessing work attitudes is both a goal and a process. The philosophy that guides change and encourages individuals to think about and contribute to improving their center is as much a goal as the specific changes themselves. The 10 dimensions of organizational climate assessed by the Early Childhood Work Environment Survey arise from a practical sense about how programs differ and are consistent with present knowledge about individual and group behavior in organizational settings. They should not be thought of, though, as mutually exclusive categories. There is certainly some overlap. The 10 dimensions measured by the ECWES are collegiality, the extent to which staff are friendly, supportive, and trusting of one another. Professional growth, the degree of emphasis placed on supporting staff's professional development. Supervisor support, the degree to which supervisors provide encouragement, guidance, and clear expectations. Clarity, the extent to which policies, procedures, and responsibilities are clearly defined. Reward system, whether pay, fringe benefits, and opportunities for advancement are fair and equitable. Decision-making, the degree to which teachers are involved in decision-making at the center. Goal consensus, the extent to which staff agree on the philosophy, goals, and educational objectives of the center. Task orientation, the emphasis placed on organizational effectiveness and efficiency, including productive meetings. Physical setting, the extent to which the physical environment helps or hinders staff in carrying out their responsibilities. And finally, innovativeness, the extent to which the center adapts to change and encourages staff to find creative ways to solve problems. In addition to the questions about these 10 dimensions of work climate, the ECWES also looks at staff's level of commitment to the center, the degree to which their current work setting resembles their ideal, and the educational goals and objectives they believe are most important in the program. Now let me walk you through the online assessment process. This includes 5 steps. First, you place your order indicating the total number of surveys for one or more sites. Second, you register each site. Third, you complete the center background information form for each site. Then, you distribute the survey to administrative, teaching, and support staff. And after all surveys have been completed, you download your work environment profile. Let me go through the steps in a bit more detail. Ordering your surveys is the first step in the process. The order form can be found on the New Horizons website by clicking the Ordering Information button. The cost is $15 per survey. You should purchase sufficient surveys for all administrative, teaching, and support staff who work more than 10 hours a week. Be mindful, though, that you need a minimum of 5 staff at each site to generate a meaningful work environment profile. Calculate this number carefully, as unused surveys cannot be returned for credit. The second step is to register each site that you would like to participate. When your payment has been verified or your purchase order approved, you will be emailed a link to a registration form asking for the name of each center, a contact person for each site, the number of surveys needed for each site, and the name and email of the individual to whom the summary report should be sent. If you are registering only one center, you will not need to hit the Add Center button on the form. When registration is complete, the designated contact for each center will be sent an email that contains 2 links. The first link is a center background information form. This form should be completed by you or someone else on your administrative team who has information about the types of services your program provides, your enrollment, and the total number of staff. When you have completed the form, click the button Save Changes. You can go back to this link and adjust the information on this form anytime during the assessment process. Your profile can't be generated, though, until this form is in the system. The second link in the email is the survey link to send to each staff member. Some directors send this link to each employee's personal email so they can complete and submit the survey from home. Other directors have staff complete the survey on the center's office computer. If you go this route, make sure that individuals have privacy when they're completing the ECWES. The directions for completing and submitting the survey are included on the first page of the ECWES, but it is always a good idea to inform staff beforehand about the purpose of doing a climate assessment, the confidentiality of their individual responses, and how the resulting work environment profile will be used. This cover letter lets respondents know the survey takes approximately 15 minutes to complete, but people can take as much time as they need. It also states that they should plan to complete the ECWES in one sitting, as partially completed surveys cannot be saved. Let me walk you through the survey now so you have a better sense of what the ECWES covers. The first section includes background information about the respondent, their role, education level, length of time working in the field, and so on. This information is collected for research purposes. It is not included in the summary report. The second section about work attitudes asks questions about respondents' level of commitment to the program, how their current position resembles their ideal position, and which aspects of their work are most important to them. The next section of the ECWES focuses on the 10 dimensions of organizational climate. There are a series of statements associated with each dimension, and people are asked to identify those statements that best describe their center most of the time. As you can see, the process of responding to each statement is pretty straightforward, and respondents can go back to a previous page if they decide they'd like to change their response to a question. The final section of the ECWES asks employees to select 3 words that best describe the work climate of their program from a list of 30 possibilities. At the end of the survey, a Submit button will appear. Once this button is clicked, the survey will not be able to be retrieved. If the survey doesn't close out when the Submit button is clicked, it means there is a section of the survey that was not fully completed. Your center's ECWES link will remain active for 30 days. A few days before your 30-day window expires, You'll receive an email informing you of how many surveys have been completed. If you want to generate a summary profile, even though your allocated number of surveys haven't been completed, that is fine. But once you generate your profile, your link to the ECWES will be closed. When the total number of surveys purchased for each site have been completed, or your 30-day window has expired, a work environment profile summarizing the composite results will be sent to the person designated to receive the summary report. This individual will also receive information for how to interpret the results, as well as helpful resources for turning the results into an action plan for continuous quality improvement. If you have any questions about the online ECWES, don't hesitate to contact me. If you have questions about how to interpret the results of your work environment profile, make sure you listen to Part 2 in this series, where Dr. Jill Bella provides an explanation of the report, as well as consultation training options that are available from the McCormick Center for Early Childhood Leadership. Thank you.